Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, is the #1 mental health concern in children. A website called How to Deal with ADHD states that 20% of ADHD children have learning disabilities and about 80% have academic problems. This is not only a problem for parents but for educators as well. I can relate to this statistic because my 14-year-old cousin lived with me and my family, and he had ADHD. It was a hassle trying to get him to do homework every night, and he was always getting in trouble in school. I also work in an aftercare. A lot of the kids there have ADHD. You have to keep them busy and try to get them to help out around the classroom so they don't act up. So even if ADHD doesn't affect your family, it's still good to know the symptoms and how to deal with a child that has it. Today I would like my audience to be aware of 3 main points about ADHD. First, the causes. Is it hereditary, their diet as an infant, or just parents' neglect and lack of discipline? Second, the symptoms. It's not just misbehaving. And third, the treatment, behavioral therapy, medication, or both. The first point I would like you to be aware about ADHD is the causes. While the main cause of ADHD is unknown, here are a few other causes. The first one being genes and heredity. Children get genes from their parents, so if a parent has a form of ADHD, the child has a greater chance of getting it. According to Psych Central, a child with ADHD is 4 times as likely to have had a relative who had ADHD. Cigarette smoking and alcohol use during pregnancy is another cause. An article by Health Magazine states that children exposed to tobacco smoke prenatally are 2.4 times more likely to have ADHD. Nutrition is a third cause. Researchers believe food additives have something to do with the cause of ADHD. The FDA says food additives are safe when used properly, and most additives aren't required to be clearly labeled on packaging. It is mostly the artificial food colors that they're worried about. A lot of people believe that when children consume a lot of sugar, that they're gonna get ADHD if they just eat it when they're young. But this is long time been disproven. Limit sugar if you're concerned about cavities or health, diet, but not because of ADHD. Lack of discipline in the home is another cause. ADHD symptoms can be confused with rebellious or bad behavior, so it's not uncommon to try to blame the parent for a child's conduct. But the website for Health Magazine states that according to the National Research Center on ADHD, there's no strong evidence that parenting style contributes with ADHD. Now that we've talked about the causes of ADHD, we can move on to the next point. A second point I would like you to be aware about of ADHD is the symptoms. There's 3 symptoms: inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. Some symptoms of inattention are poor listening, lack of attention, and being easily distracted. Hyperactivity is the second symptom. Symptoms for hyperactivity are fidgeting, excessive talking, and having a hard time with quiet activities. Impulsivity is the third symptom. Some symptoms of impulsivity are blurting out answers and not being able to wait one's turn. After discussing the symptoms, the last point I want to make about ADHD are the treatments. The main treatment is medication, and Ritalin and Vyvanse are the main 2 medications. If you know someone that has ADHD and they take medication, they're probably most likely on one of the 2. Behavioral therapy is another treatment. Behavioral therapy treatments are usually combined with medication treatments. Having behavioral therapy usually works better than just having medication by itself. A child with ADHD needs support from their family and friends as well. Now you are fully aware of the causes which can be genes, smoking while pregnant, or nutrition. The symptoms, which are inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. And then treatments, which can be medication, behavioral therapy, or both for ADHD.